Live for the virtual Charlotte Motor Speedway. Welcome race fans, one and all, back to Monday Night Racing action, where we are set to close out the regular series season and be back and ready for more for playoff action here on Monday nights. My name is Ola Rempel, joined alongside me, hopefully soon, here's going to be Austin Estrom. Just worked through some technical problems on the back end, but for now, we are set to do battle here at America's home for motorsports. It's looking to be an absolutely stellar race here as we get set to duke it out for some intense racing action here this afternoon. 135 laps, 200 miles will allow us to close out the run and see who is going to be where when we go racing here for playoff season coming on up in just 1 week's time. Well, we'll get set to see who is going to start where when we go racing here in just a little while. But for now, the point stand is entering racing action here this afternoon. While, yes, there may be several that have won their way in, the points battle is all the way back down at the bottom positions, down for around 12th place. Right now, Kilroe, Hopp, Passenger, Thorpe, Smith, Lacey, and Ping are all in on wins. The drivers that have got themselves locked in on points effectively, Nicholas Coruscant and Brian Dees, along with Wyatt Walker. The drivers in the danger zone, Scott Shire and David Lakey, only 4 and 5 points above Connor Gibson. That number 12 spot, that is the bump spot currently. Nick Nickerson has confirmed he is giving up his playoff spot. He is not looking to be going into the playoffs here this afternoon. So Nick is going to be out. That would put Matt Crockett as the next closest driver in. So you've got Shire, Lakey, Gibson, Hobbs, and Crockett, the main 5 drivers that are going to be fighting for that last critical spot in this afternoon. And with only 135 laps to duke it out, I say only 135 laps. The number sounds like a lot, but I tell you what, that can go by in under an hour and a half if this race goes by caution-free. I almost guarantee you it won't. But if it does, not a lot of time at all for these drivers to get themselves in with the last critical chance to fight their way into playoff season here this afternoon. But we take a look over the Charlotte Motor Speedway and pretty much optimal conditions. A slight breeze, 7 miles an hour off to the southwest, 90 degrees Fahrenheit down to the track surface, low humidity, 85 degrees Fahrenheit on the air. And all of this as we get set to go racing into the dusk this afternoon. Right now, 7:18 p.m. local time, as this race is going to get set to cruise on into the darkness and under the lights from America's home for motorsports here in Concord, North Carolina. So the field going to continue to get through their last little bits of warm-up here as several drivers are very much trying to put themselves up on the head of the board. Some new faces entering the grid here this afternoon, as well as some returning ones. The new face entering racing action here this afternoon going to be Michael Ramos. Ramos running in the blockbuster number 27 Ford Mustang here this afternoon. Was looking to be up into the top half of the field on the practice charts. Curious to see where he's going to be lined up for racing action here this afternoon. Ramos, of course, coming in at a bit of a critical time for the championship. He is not going to be able, I don't think, to lock himself into the playoffs here this afternoon. But it'll be interesting to see what he can do. Much like Jaden Hopp back in season number 3, could Michael Ramos be a driver to keep an eye on when we go racing into next season? Of course, other drivers newer to the series like Ronnie Norman are back and ready for more. You've got some returning faces, the likes of Christopher Bassinger, the likes of Aaron Smith, and more are back and ready to party. And Lavelle back for racing action here this afternoon as well, after he made his first start earlier on this just last week. Well, the field is going to be set to go racing here as we are set to take a rundown now of what your starting grid is going to look like for the next 135 laps, 200 miles, ready to kick off as we get set to go racing here at Charlotte. So starting on pole position this afternoon, it's going to be Aaron Smith. Who else but the driver of the PT Autosport Yellow Vision number 7. He started on pole position alongside the overall points leader, Dalton Kilbrough, entering tonight's race. Both drivers have something to prove going into playoff season. Wyatt Walker for G&W Racing right now, looking to try and races his way in. He is relatively safe, but not fully. He still has to have a good race tonight if he wants to make sure that he's in by the end. Nicholas Lavelle will start alongside him on row number 2. Row 3, Paul-Teddy Hagge alongside Benjamin Lacey. The 5 Point Motorsports number 97 will start alongside the Real Earth Films number 7 Mustang for Benjamin Lacey. Row number 4, freed up for old school racers runner Jaden Hopp, currently sitting number 7 alongside Nick Nickerson. Of course, Jaden Hopp just coming off of a fresh win in the Brickyard 400 earlier this past week, and he's looking to go back-to-back with another one here this afternoon. Row number 5 and closing out the top 10, it's going to be Michael Thorpe Jr. for the Golden Garden Autosport number 34 alongside Ty Marasco for MFRD Racing. Continuing back throughout this field here this afternoon. On row number 6, it's going to be Tanamar alongside Brian Dees. Bringing it up on row number 6. Row 7 will hold the likes of Michael Keithley alongside the Pepsi Mustang of John Osborne. Row 8, top half of the field closed out by Paul Satmary and Mike Massengill. With row 9, bringing up the likes of David Lakey and Connor Gibson. Lakey right now on the bump spot with just 4 points back to Connor Gibson. Those are the 2 new drivers racing for the first spot out and in of the playoffs this afternoon. Top 20 closed out by Dustin Ping and rookie Michael Ramos. 21st place, it's going to be the likes of Kevin Foster. He starts alongside Cody Gibson down on row number 11. Row 12 holds Christopher Baxter alongside Bob Berry. Row number 13, bring it up for Larry Bell, bring it up for Ethan Sikorsky, and now we'll have the likes of Sean Williams not putting down the qualifying lap alongside Nicholas Coruscant. And rounding out the top 30, it'll be Ronnie Norman and Scott Shire. Third of first place, it's Jeremiah Hobbs closing out the back of the field. So that's a look top to bottom. 1 lap to go before the final regular series race is set to kick off here this afternoon. Austin, do we have you now? Does not appear to be. So we'll hopefully get Austin Hedstrom joining me up here in the booth in just a little bit as he continues to fight through those technical gremlins. But right now, you got a pack of 31 cars. And of course, as Michael Thorpe Sr. mentioned into the chat, one driver to keep an eye out for this afternoon, going to be Michael Thorpe Jr. Feeling a little under the weather here this afternoon and trying to battle through that as he races into the regular season finale. He mentioned he might go for the start and park, and hey, that's just fine. He's already locked in as one of the first drivers to be locked in this championship. So it's not like he's got to worry exiting the field this afternoon. Well, we'll work the back straightaway and get set to go green this time by. So the field going to work their way into turn numbers 3 and 4 as the field is going to seek to battle this one out. 1 race to go, and then it is time for playoff action. The round of 12 will be decided after racing action tonight. Time to see who's in and who's out. It's time to go, go, go with the Toyota Restart Zone here at America's home for motorsports. Well, Dalton Kilroe's going to waste no time. He immediately tries to clear for the top side on Aaron Smith down low. Smith fights this one back down to the bottom side. It's Kilroe to lead lap number 1 as the field takes off into turn numbers 1 and 2. Smith continuing to hold the lead down to the inside. Dalton Kilroe trying to fight this one back on the outside. Lavelle and Hagge running row number 2 just behind. Still side by side. Well, gets a pace lap at over 170 miles an hour. Down to the 3 and 4. Thorpe trying to look for 3 wide up high. It's not going to happen. Still double file, and Kilroe still cannot get clear. back down the front straightaway. Lavelle trying to push him clear in the driver of the number 73 down to the turn number 1, but he can't get it done as Aaron Smith continues to hold that inside line from him. Cruising around the turn numbers 3 and 4. Now gonna go 3 wide behind into the quad oval. John Osler trapped in the middle. Thorpe gets squeezed out up high. Dustin Ping skates through down to the inside of the racetrack. And still Kilroe cannot clear Smith for the lead. An intense dogfight for the top spot as the top 10 or so have not been able to single them out all night long so far. Lap number 5, and still no one is cleared for the top spot. Such is the nature of the ARCA cars here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway as Smith, Kilroe, and Moore just cannot find a way to close things out. Nicholas Lavelle going to jump down to the low side. Had enough of helping out Kilroe. He's going to try the bottom now. Looking like he may be trying to help push Aaron Smith clear. Fastest lap of the race put down by Ronnie Norman for the tail of the field in the Amazon Prime Chevrolet. And finally, Kilroe clears for the lead on lap number 6. Boy, I mean, you talk about some aggressive dogfights, and that is one that we haven't seen for much of this season. Dalton Kilroe now trying to walk out a gap, and Nicholas Lavelle has got to clear. He's trying to send it to the inside, and the Logitech number 73 gets to the bottom with Dalton Kilroe trying to go to the point. Once again, the fight for the lead is on as Lavelle fights to the bottom side of Kilroe. Kilroe maintains his run up top. Lavelle hangs on down to the low side. Benjamin Lacey now going to go up high as Kilroe once again is clear. Contact between the top 2 drivers of the top 3 as they come off of 4 into the quad oval. Boy, I mean, with this type of racing, you'd think we were at a super speedway like the likes of Echo Park Speedway or maybe even Daytona International Speedway. Without double file and packed up in the draft, these guys have been all night just unable to break away from each other. Lacey catches the outside wall coming down to the turn numbers 1 and 2 that time by. Few drivers fading towards the back. Larry Bell going to look to be single file at the tail end with Tom Marasco and co. These guys just trying to hang on for whatever they can muster. Meanwhile, off of 4. These guys continue to make tracks. So the top 4 single filed out. Dustin Ping and Brian Dees still side by side as we track out of turn numbers 3 and 4. Back down the back chute. And still, there is nothing that Dees has been able to do about it up high as he tries to fight his way back to the point as well. behind. They're going to look for 3 wide. Jaden Hopp to the inside. Contact with Lavelle and Dustin Ping. They're going to split the 73. Dustin Ping gets around about top. Jaden Hopp takes that run away down low. Could have been disastrous down the pit straight, but Jaden Hopp and Dustin Ping made it work. As they now look to battle this one out. Back down the front straightaway. So far, with how this race has panned out, the championship standings have seen quite the swing, but as it stands, David Lakey would still be ahead of Connor Gibson, but only by a single point as they run. So Gibson still needs to do a little bit more if he wants. Oh, into the wall behind, but Paul Centenary skates the tail end out, and he caused Michael Ramos to go evasive as well. But Gibson still needs 1 or 2 more spots if he wants to get around David Lakey. With Lakey mired at the tail of the field, though, and over a second off of this leading pack, Gibson's got the chance to pounce, and he's got to make that move now if he wants to have a run going for it. Towards the front, Nick Nickerson continuing to hound the top 2. Benjamin Lacey could have potentially been looking to open up a door down the inside of Dalton and Kilrow. There is a very distinct possibility of that. Aaron Smith cruises down low. He's going to try to get around Nick Nickerson. Now looking for 3 wide down the back straightaway. They'll quickly get it back down to double as Jaden Hopp going to tuck in line right behind Aaron Smith. Dustin Ping trying to fight for the middle groove as well. Hunting down into turn numbers 3 and 4. You're right on board with Dustin Ping as he has got quite the view ahead of him. Showing that, hey, this track not as open as it might look elsewhere. And this a battle that looks like it is set to continue on for the long haul. There goes Thor. Thor's going to try to go 3 wide to the inside. That doesn't happen. Eddie Hagee. Can he fight to the back of Nicholas Lavelle? No, he cannot. Look out as a huge bobble off the top shelf for Eddie Hagee nearly took down Michael Thorpe Jr. able to wrangle it together, and will remain 2 by out of turn 4 into the quad oval. Nicholas Lavelle now with a really big bobble. As we continue to hunt into turn numbers 3 and 4. Again, Eddie Hagge catches the fence at a 2, but this time he keeps it up by the wall. He doesn't come down and doesn't nearly take out another driver with him. Now the 73, thinking about 3 wide. That is tight. It's not a move that's going to pay out, and Brian Dees fends off the 73 and keeps him behind him. Meanwhile, Dalton Kilroe continues to hold on to the race lead. Kilroe, Smith, Hop. Top 3 running away, now building a 1.3 second gap on the rest of the field behind. Well, it is just a hornet's nest for 4th on back. So the number 81 continues to fight this one out there, and now we're going to go 2 by 2 with Lacey, Thorpe, Dees, Osborne. The 73 and the 32 side by side as well. How about Ronnie Norman pushing up 13 spots? Trouble contact as Dees nearly gets spun around up top. Lavelle's able to fight it back. Still 3 wide down to the turn number 3. Christopher Bassinger holds the inside, nearly tracks into Eddie Hagge up top. And there's still 3 wide through the quad oval. Hagge gonna force a hole between Bassinger and Gibson. Feel like drivers started to burn off their tires just a bit more. Checking back in on those ever critical championship standings, and Gibson has made up the spots to get around David Lakey for the final bump spot in for the playoffs. Top 3 are starting to put in the clutch. They are saving fuel. Oh boy, Eddie Hagge getting swallowed up in the midfield. Something is going wrong for the 97. I think he's definitely used up every last piece of equipment he's got. Oh, and a couple of them catch the wall. Gibson to the fence. So's John Osborne. How about Ronnie Norman now trying to go down the inside? Thorpe's caught in the middle. He can't go anywhere. What a battle we are having this afternoon for the main championship, as these guys are just going at it. So the top 3 saving fuel, possibly saving some tires as well. They have continued to build a gap despite that. 4th on back are all in a massive battle pack, and the back runners are starting to close them up as well. So David Lakey now has a chance to battle back and try to make up some ground. Critically, according to those championship standings, while Lakey is behind Gibson, he is also he's also in front of Scott Shire. Shire was the other driver that was in, now he is out. So Lakey still holds on to the final spot, but not by much. Approaching the 100 laps to go mark. Oh, trouble back straight away. Ronnie Norman spins down. What a save! Did you see that? You're kidding me! The save at the 32 just pulled off down to the inside. Didn't touch a thing. How about that? Unbelievable drive from Ronnie Norman. Hold on to your hats as he got hit from behind by Marr, spun to the bottom, and kept it off the inside wall. Dustin Payne, meanwhile, is going to come down the pit road. So our first stops of the night. Pink's in, Dees is in. So while some of the front runners are coming down to pit road, everyone else retains their runs up front for third, fourth, fifth on back. Nickerson nearly catches the wall. Holy cow, an epic ride that we're having here. And again, these front guys from third on down just cannot break away from each other. The gap now 4 seconds and continuing to grow between third, fourth, and Kilroe. Michael Ramos starting to hold up a few guys behind him, like David Lakey and Sean Williams from behind. There's Eddie Haggy and more. No further contenders down to pit road just yet. Tanner Marr pulls up alongside Michael Thorpe Jr. Wow, they're going to go 3 wide behind. Eddie Haggy dropping 2. Kevin Foster going to look to go around the outside. Ethan Sikorsky coming down pit road. So Sikorsky is in the top 3, showing no signs of slowing. And you can hear them putting in the clutch. So Sikorsky has come down pit road. John Osborne going to go around the outside of Cody Gibson, and Cody Gibson is pitting. Gibson pits from the top 5. So once again, the field whoa, look out! Bassinger caught the wall, slid down. Connor Gibson makes up a spot because of it. But Bassinger loses 3. And again, the field showing no signs of slowing. You see now everybody's starting to kind of separate into their own little battle packs. This is the pack from 12th on down. Ty Marasco heads it up. Jeremiah Hobbs in the mix here. Ramos, Coruscant, Lakey, are all in the fray. And here we go. Plenty of drivers back down to the pits here. And call me crazy, but I feel like pit road is about to get busy. Trouble! Tanner Mars been turned in the middle of pit road. Tanner Mars spins around coming down to the pits. What the heck happened here? Big issues for Mar on the way in. He's locked the rears and he's gone into the wall. Bastards just able to avoid him. And everyone else has to lock it down big time. And now the whole field is down. So still waiting on the top 7, who I believe are, well, at least a couple of them are coming in now. But there are still some that have yet to come down. Notably, it is Smith, Hop, Coruscant, and Marasco that have not come in yet. Now, speaking of Aaron Smith, there he is. Jaden Hobbs stays out. He'll lead a lap. He continues to save fuel. Oh, no! Scott Shire, black flag for speeding! Devastating mistake for Scott Shire. That could cost him a chance at fighting for a championship. He'll have to come down pit road again right now. Right now, I believe Shire is out. He needed more, and it's not gonna happen. And you're gonna watch, he comes down pit road and look at him lose all those points. And quite possibly drop out of the top 15. A massive error for Shire. So Dustin Ping will pick up the race lead as a result. Aaron Smith will have to try and chase him down. That said, Ping has got 13 lap older tires of the race leaders. So he is right now lapping a good 0.3 of a second slower than everyone else. So Walker, we know, is in on points. So is Foster. Lacey is locked in on wins. Nickerson isn't running. That would leave Gibson potentially as, one of the last contenders. Well, now we got this chance to watch this field finally get a little bit more spread out. Dalton Kilbro and Aaron Smith, meanwhile, are working together, trying to push up Dustin Pinion to knock the 81 out of the top spot. Wyatt Walker, meanwhile, in the head of a pack of a bunch of them. This is the battle for 18th on down. Every car in shot there is for position. So a big fight at the moment for 18th. And here goes Dalton Kilrow. Kilrow to the lead to get around Dustin Pig. And Sean Williams on the backslide as well. Up front, Michael Orb Jr. right now holding on to a group of them as well. Benjamin Lacey right behind him. And charging hot on their heels is Christopher Baxter and co. Paul Setberry tried to look low, but Gibson shut him down with a move of his own. John Osborne in the mix. Michael Ramos in the mix. As Kilrow, Smith, and Moore now started to pull away from Dustin Ping, and in fact, Kilrow opening up a gap. Jaden Hopp continuing his climb back through the field, getting around drivers on older tires than him. He just got around Cody Gibson, who was down with about a 12-lap deficit. Now he's looking to chase after Ping and Dees, who have got about a 15-lap tire deficit on him. And while they're doing this, we'll give you a broader picture of the championship standings. So Kilro's locked in, Hopp is locked in, Coruscant is looking to point his way in tonight. So Nicholas Corso right now in on points. Brian Dees is in on points. Wyatt Walker is in on points. So is Scott Shire. Never mind, Scott Shire not in on points. So it goes Walker, then Gibson is in, then Lakey. So Lakey is still on the bump spot. And he has got a 4-point gap over Scott Shire. So Lakey all the way back in 28th. It's just barely clinging on for dear life for the final transfer spot. Once all the win and your ins get factored in. Scott Shire critically is a lap down. And again, right now, Shire needs a caution. He is begging for a caution to get himself back onto the lead lap so he can start getting some points. If he can't get those points, Shire's going to be on the outside looking in tonight. Well, I told you this race can go by in a flash, and wouldn't you believe it if I told you that we're already nearing the halfway point in this race tonight. For the back, Benjamin Lacey, Michael Thorpe Jr., John Osborne, Sikorsky, Bassinger, Gibson, Ramos, all under a blanket. This a mad fight for 8th. Up front, Aaron Smith has finally caught Dalton Kilrow. He's going to look to go around the outside. So Smith is going to take over the race lead from Dalton Kyoro. A good, solid drive for him as the PT Auto Sport machine now back right to the front where he started. Plenty of racing left and racing action here this afternoon, and a big fight for the final spots yet to be decided for the round of 12. We'll see who's out and who's in when we return in just a moment on Great Flag TV. Stay with us.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Green Flag TV. The battle for the lead is on as Jaden Hobb tries to run down Aaron Smith at the head of the field. Once again, fuel saving is coming into play big time. Tanner Moore has just been black flagged on the way in, and it looks like he may have just called it quits. Meanwhile, Hobb all over the back bumper of Aaron Smith, trying to make a run at the lead of this race. And you can hear, you can see the clutch being put in time after time again, corner after corner. Jaden Hobb, mind you, already locked into the playoffs. He's just trying to go the distance. So Hobb looks to fight it out for the lead once again. Here's that fight for what is now sixth on back. It's really more for seventh as they're going to look to go three wide again. Passengers side by side, bumps into the wall. Gibson trying to find a way through. Just can't get the job done, man. I mean, holy cow. What does it take to get a guy into the fight? Oh, Thorpe leaning on the door of Osborne and Ramos simultaneously. Is Thorpe going to go three wide in the middle? You bet your bottom dollar he is. Brian Dees makes room. Thorpe shoots the gap and he is through. As he works the outside of John Osborne. Up front, Aaron Smith continues to lead the way. Now about to be working 64 laps to go. The sun continuing to set lower and lower in the North Carolina skies. Oh, trouble it straight away, no! Thorpe's gone around! He, Ramos, Osborne all together. Dustin Ping's around as well. No caution? You're kidding me! No way! No way that is not a caution! I refuse to believe that that is not a yellow! That is unreal! No way! You are... I don't know how you missed that. iRacing Race Control, someone missed the mark on that. That is inexcusable! That is absolutely a caution any day of the week. Come on, that's a 5-car wreck that just happened. What are we doing? A huge crash on the front straightaway. Golly. Look at this again at speed. They come together. 2 into the wall. Start of the Bob area. Hard lick for John Osborne. Sorry for the voice crack. Brutal impact, though. Thorpe around. Ping around. Osborne collected. I have no words. Thorpe, Osborne, Ping, everyone just got completely robbed with that. Boy, that leaves a sour taste in the mouth. Osborne is out. Ramos is out. Barry is out. Thorpe is out. Unbelievable. Well, Jaden Hobb continuing to hound the back of Aaron Smith. Dalton Kilroy has dropped back 1.8 seconds from the lead. Take one more look back at what happened to Thorpe here. Bob Berry caught the wall, and it was just on from there, and a brutal hit into the fence for John Osborne. Gibson and Nickerson fight it out for 4th and 5th place. Meanwhile, Bassinger and Gibson going at it for 7th and 8th. Connor Gibson going down to the inside of Christopher Bassinger. Brian Dees will hit pit road this time by as he looks set to bring her on in. So our second run of green flag stops of the night. We shouldn't be having green flag stops right now, but here we are. Nickerson and Gibson fighting fourth and fifth. Approaching 50 laps to go. Aaron Smith continues to lead the way from Jaden Hopp, Nick Nickerson, and Cody Gibson looking set to duke it out for fourth and fifth on the racetrack. Cody Gibson and Christopher Bassinger might look to go at it as well. Meanwhile, Ty Marasco, Nicholas Lavelle, and more. All the battles out of the racetrack have been completely broken apart as a result of that crash on the front straightaway. Cody Gibson now is in as well. So the battle for the lead remains between the top two of Smith and Hopp. Mike Massengill into pit road. And the lights are about to flick on over the Charlotte Motor Speedway. There's Jeremiah Hobbs and Ty Marasco sitting 3.5 seconds behind Bassinger. Ty Marasco trying to hunt back to him as well. While Marasco battles it out, the front runners are going to keep up the pace. Despite them looking to save a ton of fuel. In fact, I think they might be trying to see if they can cut out the final stop. I think that is exactly what they are doing. Some drivers that have already come down will not be able to cut that last splash, go out. They will need to come back down again. Particularly for people like Brian Dees, who have already pitted several laps ago. But if these guys can actually make that work and cut the fuel stint out, that would be legendary. An important clarification to make, by the way, on that incident and why it went down the way it did. While we do have live race control does not have the ability to throw those yellow flags. Some leagues have it up to be exclusively race control's discretion. Some leagues have it be either or. High Tide Racing makes so our cautions are entirely iRacing controlled. So our race control may have thrown the yellow for that. They do not have the authority to do so as dictated by HTRL administration. So that is iRacing. That 100% dropped the ball on that front stretch crash, and that could have potential championship implications as well. We will look to see how this is going to shake on up once we get through this next run of pit stops and where things are situated, but I'd be very surprised if that didn't have some kind of major implications, given how tight of a points battle these guys have been in for that final critical spot. There's Ronnie Norman just heading out of pit road once again. And here comes Aaron Smith. So this is going to be the one to watch with the fight for the lead. As Smith is going to heavily undercut Jaden Hopp. Now, critically, he is on his 44th lap, and we have 43 to go. Smith can go to the end from here on field if he does a little bit of saving. And I expect soon we're going to be seeing Jaden Hopp in as well, who will be looking to do the same. Well, Jaden Hopp, he's not concerned right now. He's going to go for one more lap. Looking to go for the overcut strategy to put himself on the freshest tires of the lot. This worked out well for him in the initial run of green flag stops, because he was able to get back out there and drive through the field. He was by far the fastest car out there. And he's going to try to pull off the overcut again. So Smith's going to have to hang on to the end, unless you get a caution to disrupt the run of things. But given that R15 seems to be a bit of a stickler for caution at this place, apparently, all of a sudden, I'd be surprised if it got one. Jaden Hopp finally comes down to pit road. Aaron Smith gets back on the lead lap. So the real question here is, how much time is Hopp going to have to make up in the next 40 laps or so? Still a plethora of cars on the lead lap. And there goes Smith around the outside. So Aaron Smith back to the lead, but Jaden Hopp is still getting up to speed here in turn 2. So it looks like Hopp's going to have around 4.2 seconds to make up over the course of the next several laps. So we'll check back in again on the overall top 15 of the championship standings. A reminder, Dalton Kilroe, Jaden Hopp, Christopher Baxter, Michael Gore Jr., Aaron Smith, Benjamin Lacey, Dustin Pinger, all in on wins. Nicholas Coruscant is locked in effectively on points. Brian Dees is also locked in on points. Wyatt Walker, he's right now in. Scott Shire right now is on the outside looking in. David Lakey sits ahead of him, as does Connor Gibson. So as it stands, oh, hold on! No, a big change! Big change is here as Jeremiah Hobbs actually just fought his way up and into the final spot of the playoffs. Jeremiah Hobbs back here in 11th, overtaking Nicholas Lavelle, and that actually puts him tied, dead even with David Lakey. If he can make out one more spot, he should be able to secure it here. So right now, Lakey and Hobbs tied for the final spot in the 84. back in 18th. He's got 6'10". David Lakey's got half a second to make on Kevin Foster. Meanwhile, Hobbs is right behind Ty Marasco. So Jeremiah Hobbs racing hard, trying to fight his way in. Meanwhile, Jaden Hobbs going to clear around Cody Gibson. He is seeking to run down Aaron Smith with the lead. Now this is going to be critical here. Hobb is quicker, but he's only quicker by about a tenth to a lap. Is that enough to run Smith down over the next 34? Jeremiah Hobbs, meanwhile, all over the back of Ty Marasco. And this fight here, again, a critical one. There is the battle for the championship bubble. It is between Lakey, Hobbs, and Gibson, with also Scott Shire on the outside, currently looking in. Jeremiah Hobbs, I think, knows this. He's looking high, he's looking low, he's trying to find a way through. Oh, but it's going to happen as one car comes down to pit road, and I think that gives Jeremiah Hobbs the spot he needs. And just to secure it, he makes the move on Ty Marasco. So right now, Jeremiah Hobbs is in by 2 over Lakey. "32 laps to go, this time by." It'll be 31 of the line. Aaron Smith continuing to pull away. Well, not pulling away, but Jaden Hobb is not closing nearly as much as he needs to be. 2/10, that's a bit more like it. If Hobb can keep this up, he might get there, but it's going to be so close. Cody Gibson comes down to pit road. Jaden Hobb trying to fight his way around Sean Williams. This is lap traffic that Hobb is fighting with. Michael Keithley up on the outside. Jaden Hobb down low. Hobbs able to clear from the 53. But because of that, he lost time this lap. With 30 laps to go, Hobb needs to be closing about 3/10 a lap if he wants to catch up. Wait, nope. Check that. He needs to be closing by about 1.3 a lap if he wants to catch up. Paul Satmary with a black flag as he comes down pit road. Bop for speeding. We'll keep that points graph up on the top right, so you can watch that battle. Remember, keep tabs on Hobbs and Lakey. Nick Nickerson not in the fight. Cody Gibson has managed to more than race his way in with a stellar 6th place drive for the Canadian Tire number 31. on board with Jaden Hobb as he continues to push that car to the limit, looking to run down the VT Autosport number 70 up the road. The question on somebody's lips is, will he be able to get it done? Potential updates here, by the way, in the battle for the championship, David Lakey. As a result of that black flag from Von Sammer, he's able to pick up another spot. Jaden Hobbs seeking to get around him. Lakey has to reel in 1.1 seconds to close on Kevin Foster. But he really needs to get around Sean Williams, who is 5 seconds up the road if he wants to secure that, or he could have Jeremiah Hobbs lose a spot or two. And right now, Hobbs has got Ty Marasco breathing down his neck. Marasco seeking to get around that number 3, and Christopher Baxter also in the fray. And this fight in the tense one, while Baxter and Marasco are not fighting for that final spot, that number 3 car is trying to get some insurance. He's going to look down the inside of Bassinger and slip through. All right, secure for now. Ty Marasco trying to climb down the inside, and Bastards able to clear him. And the gap can extend further as David Lake is overtaken by Wyatt Walker. So things seem to be falling apart a little bit there for poor David Lakey, as hard as he's fighting to get his way in. While Jeremiah Hobbs continues to pick off drivers, and now he's going to overtake Connor Gibson. Now Gibson's on the bump spot again, or about to be at least. Connor Gibson at risk. If he loses 3 points, he'll be even with Lakey. Ty Marasco clears him. And the fight for 6th remains the one to watch, as this is the one that is deciding who is in and who is out for the final spots in the round of 12. I tell you what, this fight so far, this whole race has been absolutely stellar. As the number of applicable candidates for that final transfer spot continues to close out. Right now, Gibson is in, Hobbs is in, Lakey again is out, but only by 3. Boy, Lakey's got to be begging for a caution right about now. Checking in real quick on the lead of the race as well here. Jaden Hobb has continued to close in lap after lap. The gap is down to 2.3. As Jaden Hobb now looks to fight around Sean Williams, but he's got Paul Satmary to work with him as well. And it looks like Hobbs' pace is starting to drop off. He matches Smith's lap time, and matching is good, but it's not enough. There is Connor Gibson, the driver that is currently in by 4 points. With Jeremiah Hobbs continuing to be a thorn in the side of Marasco, Gibson, and Bassinger. It's time Marasco aggressive enough to go for the move. He is. Marasco going to put Jeremiah Hobbs in danger territory once again. Hobbs now tied with Gibson. You see that point sheet working its magic as Jeremiah Hobbs able to pull clear. Hobbs and Gibson still tied. Critically, they are tied for 11th, not for 12th. $15 laps to go. Ethan Sikorsky could not go the distance. He comes down pit road. Way in the back, here is David Lakey. Lakey has effectively made of all the spots he can gain. He's got to hope that Gibson or Hobbs loses 2 spots. Or even 3, that would put him in. Jeremiah Hobbs started to pull away as Bassinger attacks Ty Marasco. Oh, look out, Marasco, sideways! Rebounds off of Bassinger, they pull it up, 3 wide, down the back straightaway. Able to get it back, Marasco's not happy. Giving the bumper to Christopher Bassinger, pushed him up the track in 3 and 4. Bassinger clears. Ty Marasco elbows up with Bassinger. Marasco spun sideways. A wild moment coming down to the turn numbers 1 and 2. Right on board here with Bassinger. This was coming around in the turn numbers 1 and 2 this time by. Watch, he's going to track up from the inside. Clips Marasco there, spins him sideways. They're able to gather it up, but Marasco is not a happy camper. And went back at him. I think gave him a bit of a message there in turn number 3. That was the warning shot across the bow. That has not changed our running of how the points lie. Gibson had to back out. Meanwhile, David Lakey had to come down pit road again for a splash and go. He couldn't go the distance. He is now back onto the racetrack, and that effectively kills his run. Scott Shire might be the next one in as Shire stands 1.3 seconds behind him. Checking back in on the battle for the lead of the race. The gap is still closing. Jaden Hobbs is still working that gap down little by little. But with coming to 8 laps to go and only it's still 1.4 seconds between them. I think Hobbs fighting a losing fight here. While the gap closes, it will not close quick enough. Connor Gibson scrapping it out with Ty Marasco. That'll put Gibson officially 1 point ahead of Hobbs. officially pushing Hobbs back onto the bump spot. So Ty Marasco continuing to pull clear. As is Christopher Bassinger. We'll turn our eyes up to Jaden Hopp and Aaron Smith. And the question, as always, does Hopp have an answer for Smith? He's picked up the pace. The gap down to 1.1. He was a tenth and a quarter quicker that time by. You're right on board to the back of Aaron Smith as he'll take 5 laps to go. Not enough time gained that last time through. And for the first time this stint, the gap dips under a second. 4 to go. One critical error from Smith, and Hopp is going to be all over him. Jaden Hobbs got 3-lap pressure tires. But this deep into the run, it might not be enough. Aaron Smith is no longer saving fuel. The gap down to 9/10. 3 to go. He would have to reel in a third of a second if he wanted to take this lead away. He's got a sniff at the draft. It's slight, but it's there. Two laps. 3/4 a second. Has he punched through the bubble? Oh, it's closing quickly now. 6.5. But he's out too wide. He's going to lose time down the backstretch. That would do it. Half a second, 1 lap to go, this time by. Jaden Hopp trying to close. 1.5 miles in it. Down the back straightaway. He's not closing quick enough. Aaron Smith into the final 2 corners. Hopp will close the gap down to 3.5 tenths, but Aaron Smith hangs on to win at Charlotte. Meanwhile, Christopher Bassinger looking to try to fend off the run from Coruscant. Down the back straightaway. Batcher's out of fuel. Christopher Bassinger gonna run out on the final lap. He's going to lose out. He's going to drop out of the top 10. Ronnie Norman scores top 10. Lavelle closes in on the top 10. Gibson put onto the bump spot in the last second to boot. But he'll still beat Lakey by 9. And all of this while Aaron Smith walks away the victor. But boy, you put 3 more laps onto this total. And who knows what might have happened. For Aaron Smith, he is going to continue to close in. He is officially into the double digits, his 10th win of his career. And now only 2 away from the record set by Benjamin Lacey of 12. We'll take a rundown of your official post-race results here this afternoon, and we'll go over who's out and who is in at the end of this show here this afternoon. It is going to be Aaron Smith taking home the win, Hop in second, Kilroy in third, Lacey in fourth, Nickerson fifth, Hobbs in sixth, Corsell in seventh, Marasco eighth, Norman ninth, and Lavelle closes out the top 10. From there, it's going to be Connor Gibson in 11th with Bassinger back in 12th. The last car on the lead lap with Sean Williams back in 13th. Gibson in 14th. Walker in 15th. Foster, Keithley, D. Sikorsky, and Massengill close out the top 20. Blakey, Ping, Shire, St. Mary, Barry will run out the top 25 with Bob Barry failing to finish this race. Same story for Ramos along with Osborne, who was caught up in that big crash around lap 70 that was somehow not a caution. Thank you, iRacing, for that. Wentworth Jr., Leibel, Tandemar, and Eddie Hagge close out the field. Boy, what a fight. Now, these drivers put on for us here this afternoon, and we will look to give a chit-chat here with all the drivers that finished this race on the podium. Look to start things off first and foremost with one Aaron Smith, the driver of the PT Autosport Yellow Vision number 70, comes home number 1 this afternoon. And Aaron, a huge milestone for you this afternoon as well. You are the second ever driver in the High Tide Racing League to hit 10 wins into the double-digit column. How does that feel?
That feels magnificent. I'll tell you what, I had no idea if I was going to be able to keep Jade behind me there. I knew he had the tire advantage. I knew he had the fuel advantage. I had one lap to the good there. I was fortunate enough to see the fuel situation out in that first run and save just enough to make that extra lap. But yeah, I didn't overcome the tire strategy. I simply outlasted it, I guess.
Kind of talk us through the race tonight. This one went all the way down to strategy. We thought we might get a caution around the halfway point, but Ison decided to take a nap today, I guess, on throwing the yellow flag butts, and that allowed this race to go caution-free to the end. Were you ever worried about Hop in the closing stages there?
Oh, yeah, the whole time. Like, I knew he was going to be flying up behind me, and I saw the gap coming down about a tenth a lap, and then it slowed down just a little bit, and in those last 2 laps, he caught my draft and got a little closer than I would have liked, but yeah, if we had 2 more laps, I would have been cooked, to be honest with you. But I'm glad it ended the way it did.
So kind of looking forward, I got 2 questions for you. Usually I keep it at 3, but I got 2 for you here. For one, it's playoff season, right? The round of 12 is coming on up. You, of course, we're already locked in entering tonight. What's going to be the game plan for the weeks coming up?
I don't think I'll be able to run this championship anymore this season. I think this would have been my last race. I have another deal coming up here on Monday nights. But yeah, I'll see if I can relinquish my spot to the next guy in line, if that's allowed or whatever. But yeah, it's been a fun season. I'm glad to be able to end it this way.
Well, for now, with your win record only 2 away from Benjamin Lacey, if it's not done this season, do you reckon by the end of season 5 we're going to have a new driver with the most wins into the series?
I'm not sure which car they're going to be putting up next season. If it turns out to be the Gen 4 car, then I can absolutely hit that win record. But we'll have to see. This car certainly makes things a little difficult to be able to consistently be at the front, because you have like a lot of pack racing, a lot of guys who are capable of winning on any given week. But if we go to a car like the Gen 4, I think I'll be able to wing it a little more often. So yeah, we'll see. I'm looking forward to seeing what the future holds.
All right, well, wish you the best of luck when we go racing once again. We'll see you next time when we go racing once again on Monday night.
10-4, thank you.
Aaron Smith comes home number 1 this afternoon, and we'll bring up the driver that was his main competition throughout the course of this race. Jaden Hopp comes home number 2. Jaden, holy cow, what a valiant effort there in the closing stages. Brought it down to 3.5 tenths. Didn't quite get it done, but 3 laps. Who knows what might have happened.
I know, right? Yeah, I tried so hard. I needed a little more draft. Got held up by a couple of lap cars, but, oh well. But, yeah, I needed more draft and, more time. We could have seen what happened.
Well, you may not have walked away with another win, but the win doesn't matter so much in terms of the overall championship. You were already locked in entering racing action here this afternoon. Now that we are into the round of 12 in full force, what's going to be the game plan over the next 3 weeks to try to make sure you can race your way into the round of 8?
I think we have, what, is it Talladega, Iowa, Road America, something like that in that order? Either way, though, need to survive Talladega. That's going to be difficult. The road course should be good, and then Iowa's usually a good track for me. I'm hoping we run the not repaved one. Iowa's one of my favorite short tracks ever. I do not like the new repave though, so we'll see.
Well, overall, it's looking to be an exciting effort when we go racing once again for the round of 12. In the meantime, we'll wish you the best of luck when we return in Alabama.
Hopefully I'm up here talking to you then.
Jenny Hop comes home number 2 this afternoon, and we'll look to bring up Dalton Kilroe, the driver, who, I think Dalton Kilroe's a little bit busy right now, but I tell you what, a good, solid drive here this afternoon for the driver number 41. Now, you know what? We'll look to give him a chit-chat. I know I'm asking a lot from him right now, but who knows? Hopefully he can talk to me while he's in the middle of getting other stuff for me. Dalton, third place this afternoon. Thank you. Oh, thank goodness for that. Dalton, third place for you this afternoon. Bit of no man's land by the end of that race for you.
Yeah. I figured I had a little something in that first run, and then they were able to go a few laps longer, have some fresher tires, and I guess I burned my stuff up towards the start of that second run and just had nothing once they got in front of me and just started dropping like a rock. And then once the two of them were off drafting with each other and getting away from me and I didn't have their draft, I was just like, oh, well, time to just settle in. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. And I mean, hey, again, I'll take a P3. I had good speed all night. I'll take it.
It was a solid drive for you here this season, and in terms of the overall championship, you walked away with the regular season championship, and of course, you have by far one of the best stats over the regular series as well. Average start of 8.5, average finish of 7.5. I mean, no other driver comes close to matching those starts through and through over the course of the 15 weeks over the regular series season. Do you reckon that bodes well then for your chances here in the round of 12?
Well, I'd like to think so, but then both Jaden and Aaron are both in the playoffs, and they're going to be tough to beat. But hey, we'll see what happens. Hopefully, I can keep consistent, keep my car clean, because I mean, the times I've been able to keep my car clean, I've been in the top 5 every single time. Because I've wrecked out of 3 races, and those are the only 3 I haven't been in the top 5. So hopefully keep that up and just finish as strong as I can.
Of course, we'll kick things off at Talladega. No doubt going to be a game of survival as we kick off playoffs. What was the decision to put Talladega as the first race in, and what's going to be your goal for that race?
In terms of the decision to make that the first race of the playoffs, I feel like that's more of a Ben Lacey question. If I know Ben, his thought process was, if we're going to have a plate track in the playoffs, get it out of the way where it's going to have the least amount of impact on what's going to actually happen. Which, frankly, I like it the opposite. I'd rather it be complete and utter chaos and it be an eliminator race, but hey, that's just me. But game plan for Talladega is, again, just try to keep the car clean. Definitely don't blow my motor after 20 laps like I did in the season opener at Daytona, and I can probably stay up there. But I don't know. We'll kind of see how things play out, how aggressive everybody wants to be. I'm still glad we're getting over 30 cars. That's still awesome to me.
Well, Talladega's up next, and it tends to be a big draw, so I'm sure it'll be over 30 again when we go racing next week. Wish you the best of luck in Alabama for now. Good luck on the round of 12 coming on up.
Thank you.
Dalton Kilroe comes home number 3 this afternoon. That will close out our regular series season, and that will close out our top 3 interviews here as well. I'll tell you what, a lot coming on up here to be excited about over the next little while. You got the top 12 that has been officially finalized, by the way. The top 12 drivers are all confirmed as to who is going to be in and who is going to be out. The drivers that are in are as follows. You've got the likes of Jaden Hopp, you've got Aaron Smith, you've got Christopher Bassinger, Dalton Kilroy, Benjamin Lacey, Dustin Ping, Michael Thorpe Jr. Those are the drivers that are all in on wins. Pointing their way in, it's Nicholas Coruscant, Brian Dees, Kevin Foster, Wyatt Walker, and Jeremiah Hobbs picks up the last spot by 3 points over David Lakey. What a tough break. Scott Shire, who knows what might have happened for Shire had he not gotten that black flag, but, well, we know what's coming up next. It's the round of 12. 3 races, each one more different than the last. A super speedway, followed by a road course, followed by a short track. If you want carnage, look no further than Monday night. There's also a lot of action coming on up over the next little while here on Green Flag TV. Tomorrow night, it's going to be the OMSRL Gold Series. Swinging out to, well, how about it? Road America. A triple header on Wednesday for the Global IndyCar Challenge at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve alongside the PSR Sim Game Expo Truck Series and the Beer League. More action with the doubleheader on Thursday. Bull Racing League is back for more on Friday. Check out the VOR IndyCar Series as they are kicking off their 14th season and the first race ever for them on Green Flag TV. That'll be on Saturday at 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. And, of course, NAS Classic with their finale is later on that night with For the Boys Racing League alongside the Blaze Battles ARCA Series back for more as well on Sunday. If you want to find out more about who we are and what we can offer you, check us out today at www.greenflagtv.com. The round of 12 is just around the corner, and it kicks off at the biggest, baddest track of the NASCAR calendar. We'll see who is going to get off strong and who might have their championship hopes dashed on the pavement when we go racing in Alabama.